Parlor and bad puns. Name a more iconic duo.
That's tough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's Ave, at least the coach of North, recent coach addition. What are your thoughts on him? Like, how do you think he fits into this team? Are you a fan?
I mean, I've been a massive fan of Ava as a player. Obviously, back in the days, one of the most iconic Danish players of all time, together with Sonic. So both of the Danish top teams, I guess, have pretty solid coaches behind them. Obviously, how his experience with CS:GO is rather limited. He hasn't necessarily played as much as I guess one would hope in that sense. Probably a ton of people who wish that the core of the old MTW lineup would continue on playing CS:GO and so on, but they really haven't. But they come back in different I guess positions. You've got some becoming I guess CGO or something like that of North. And then in Wimp, and then obviously you have Ave being the coach of North and Zonic being the coach of Astralis. But I think Ave, just the way he approaches the game, the way MTW used to approach the game back in 1.6 was just a really solid way of playing Counter-Strike. And it's very, very traditional to how Danish CS teams play Counter-Strike. So I think it's a very good fit in that sense. I think it's a really good addition for MSL to have someone to bounce IDs off of. And he's definitely like one of the smarter heads, from a tactical point of view that Counter-Strike has ever had. So definitely can't be a negative, really, to have Ave behind you. And the more he gets into it, obviously the more demos he watches, the more he kind of gets a feel for CS, the better of a coach he's going to be as well. And that's only going to help North in the long term.
Yeah, I mean, a team that's already been improving, as has the whole Danish scene. Like, let's be real, this is a real time for Danish Counter-Strike. I thought we had already our peak maybe last year or in 2017, but it keeps going, right? We
Danish Counter-Strike never stops.
I know, it's insane how much talent. You got Astralis, just the best team in the world right now. I don't think anyone can doubt that.
Yep.
You got North, who are starting to make improvements, at least as of these last couple of weeks. And this is the event where we see, okay, is it consistent? Are they going to do it more than once? Because of course, Tor, not an asterisk over that event by any means, but it's like this is a bigger event. This is a far more stature. So I'm going to see if they can repeat it back to back. On top of that, you got Optic, who had a great showing in Dallas, who started off really well as over there, and actually kind of surprised and impressed us, considering I think most people's expectations were low, considering how new the team was.
Definitely.
And Heroic as well. While only 2 Danish players on that team at the moment, them EPL finals was actually a bit of a surprise to see as well. They looked good.
Yeah, definitely. There's so much talent, and even if you go a step below that and you start looking at the up and comers who eventually will play for a team like North, Astralis, and so on. You have Fragsters and Tricked and all these teams. It's just unreal how much. How many good players are coming from that tiny country? It's
and IGLs. I feel like they have such an insane amount of strong IGLs that really do make a difference in the team. Like MSL and Glaive are such perfect examples.
Yeah,
of that.
Snappy, Kerrigan, the list goes on, and that's the really cool thing about it. And I think that's partly because of the kind of idea and mentality around how you want to play Counter-Strike. Is in Denmark, it's just ingrained with everyone. Like, obviously, some regions have more pug stars than others, and you don't necessarily see full teams come out of those regions or those countries to actually have a big impact. But instead it's like individuals who shine. And like, if you want to go with someone like Nico, for instance, you're never going to see a Bosnian or Serbian team necessarily being a top 5 team in the world, but you have the talent individually to take it all the way. But with Denmark, it's just ingrained in their souls. It's in their blood that they're going to play a certain way of Counter-Strike. It's going to be tactically based, and that's how they're going to roll with it. But they also have the individual firepower to actually add into all of the tactics that they bring to the server. It
is always a shame when you come from a country that has 30 times the amount of people as Denmark, and you still can't field a good team, but they have like 6 top 30 teams. It's really a shame.
Are you hinting towards a certain country?
No, not at all. No,
never. I mean, come on now. We saw UK team beat VP yesterday.
Oh, we did as well. Yeah, when they rain. They've actually been a team that I've really enjoyed watching recently. Like, they've been a team. I mean, they just made changes, so I was kind of like. Not that that's a bad thing at all, but they were doing really well as a core 5, and now they just added a couple of players. They brought Sweden as well, because us Brits love to get a little Sweden to carry us.
That is actually very true.
Yeah, I mean, it happens time after time, right? But that's not a bad thing at all. And yeah, that's been a team in MDL that's actually been really impressive. Like, okay, they beat VP online, like, or whatever. I'm going to put an asterisk on that game. But still, like apart from that result, they've had some good wins. They even beat Gambit as well recently in MDL. So yeah, some upcoming talent there. Certainly, I'm going to keep my eyes on that. But we've got some real upcoming. I can't speak. Upcoming talent on your on your screens right now. This is North. They did win the 9th round on nuke, which is only going to add to the problems that NRG could face.
Yeah, no, I'm really curious to see how this pans out. Like ever since we saw the changes made to nuke, I think that this has gone back to being more of a CT-sided map than ever. I think with the obviously the birdwalk railings and everything just being connected in the older versions, that just gave Tees so many more opportunities to actually play in it. I felt like it was a much more dynamic map and a much more fun map to watch in that sense. Now it's gone back to the point where it's like, yeah, you should get double figures or you've kind of messed up something about your CT side.
Yeah, I think it's made outside quite boring again by removing that. I don't know
what... You kind of do the same thing as you did in 2013. It's like the wall of smokes and you go downstairs. Maybe you're cheeky one time and go through the smoke and into garage, but that's pretty much all the diversity you're going to see. And that's a bit of a shame. I think we were on a good path in terms of seeing nuke being a more strategical map in that sense.
I really enjoy watching Astralis play this map because I love main splits. Like that's
your jam.
That's my jam. Like when teams go really fast onto a silo, drop into main, and just like split through the A site. Like that's really fun. I like that. So hopefully we'll see some of that from North, but that'll be on the second half. We're starting it off on the CT side. This is not live. We are going to be restarting it, I assume, because all the players are still in spawn. So.
Just new strategies. Don't worry about it.
They're just playing retake on both sites while also having no map control. But we've got a lot of utility for NRG, so that's something to note. So clearly they have a game plan coming into this one. I feel like NRG, they should be expecting this map for the series, right? They know they're going to veto Dust 2 straight away, and they know that North will certainly pick nuke.
Yeah, no, I feel like that is, I guess, one of the more obvious picks. It just makes more sense for North as well, considering that NRG hasn't, like, obviously fairly fresh team in terms of playing at the higher level and actually going to these tournaments, but they're still a pretty well-versed team in terms of having a decent map pool. It's not necessarily like one map they're absolutely god-awful at that they can't veto away. So, I think this is the map that North gives themselves the best chance to get an easy win if there is such a thing.
Oh, Ethan playing with fire here on ramp. Svaldi just holds off. North. Pretty passive setup here. KRB just spotting the outside yard from heaven, so he's just got the information. Maybe not expecting the smokes. My jab is here. The main split. Daps is in. AZ had his back turned, and now his head's removed. MSL dropping off the hut, as he could have easily got split from the site. And there's Fugly going down. Ethan needs to find this trade, because MSL's in a really good spot, and that's good timing from Ethan. The smoke is down, but NRG are out, and on the bomb site they go. Valde has to defend this one on his own, and he will at least drop the bomb, but can't follow up. Man advantage back in the favor of NRG, but this rotation from Mertz is well timed. The issue is his entire team are dead.
Smoke from MSL is still down. It's going to fade now. Doesn't block him too much, but does mean that Dabs is going to get the bomb down. Does have information as to where the two last players are. Obviously, Dabs knows that he's down on site now. Spotted out Breezy at the top of heaven. Question is though, or the issue is that Breeze can just play with time here for as long as he wants, really. He can let Daps die in this situation as well and still be a massive nuisance for Mertz.
And there is no kit. There's no real time. Nice play from Daps, hides around the edge of the smoke, finishes it off, and that will be the pistol round for NRG. So kicking things off on good footing. This is pretty important for them again, considering not only is this not their map pick, but they're starting on the T side. They may even get a couple of free rounds here. And I mean, on nuke T side, you take everything you can get.
Oh, absolutely. So a little bit surprised by how big of a gap in the defense there was from North side in that pistol round. Obviously, you had one player, I think it was Kirby, spotting towards main, but you have to be aware of the fact that the angle isn't necessarily wide enough for you to be able to spot people dropping off main. So you talked about these main splits, right? Yeah. That Astralis like to do. In a fashion, that's really what NRG went for as well. And AZ was completely uncovered because he had his back to main. There wasn't really any sense of urgency from North that could be a potential or possibility.
Yeah, backstabbed, and this round seems to be over as well. Full rifles for NRG, which is interesting to see, but hey, they haven't lost any players here, and I don't think that's going to change unless AZ can catch someone off guard. A nice angle for Ethan as well. He's covered pretty much everywhere. He's got his teammates back in the yard. Cirque's also watching the main push. There's AZ spotted. Nice dink. Somehow connecting some damage there, and Cirque knows he doesn't need to push this angle. They don't need to chase the frag. They just try and pin AZ down. They have him locked on B, and now they know his position. Bomb can be planted, so NRG have pretty much a guarantee now of winning the round, and AZ just looking for any kind of damage or to save his gun.
Yeah, like holding on to ZZ, not necessarily bad. Obviously, if you can get a Galil, not the worst case either, but it's not going to happen. Breezy with the easy frag, holding the angle down vent. So, yeah, for Energy right now, it's just taking care of business. That is the end game. Making sure that you get those 3 easy rounds or 2 easy rounds in addition to the pistol. Because obviously, that is I think, like mentality-wise, on a nuke, it plays even more. It comes more into play with the fact that you know how hard the T side is. So basically, giving up rounds that you should be winning plays a bigger part in like how mentally broken you get.
Yeah. NRG need to be careful in this round because they can't get complacent. So many teams win the anti-force buy and then versus USPs let a couple of guns go because they think, oh, we're confident we only have USPs, and then North stack up with some crossfires. But NRG need to be very careful they don't let this one slip. In this aggressive position, they're probably going to get him caught out. Somehow he gets a kill there and doesn't get taken down, but a couple of his teammates dropping in the process. And it's not like they would be running a bonus round because they had Galils, but you kind of want AKs anyway. But either way, a couple of casualties. Buy can come in. Cirque should be able to get this AWP, but he opts against it.
That might allude to a bit of a quicker pace from Energy coming in there. And again, yeah, we talked about how the op battle is going to be interesting to see how it pans out. I think for the better part, it's going to be seeing how the ops do on the CT side, because you don't necessarily see the op being brought out too much on a map like Nuke when you're playing on the offense.
Especially when NRG didn't lose any players in that second round. They know that North don't have that extra $300 for like a smoke or a nade or more utility, so maybe the faster approach would make sense considering North don't have the nades to hold this back. But look, talk about faster approach. The CT side, they're aggressive up in lobby. NRG bypass that by taking their way down to Secret, and MSL is down in the depths, lurking alone on B. Him and AZ already doing the damage. This Vents has been caught by the CT side. North have found 2 kills, and Breezy stuck down low trying to find the trade. Eventually it comes through, but in the meantime, it's a 2-on-4.
A rough position here for Breeze, and MSL, yeah, smartly going to use the smoke, doesn't have to run out of his position, can just hold still for now. Obviously, they know where Breezy is. Fugly is a bit more of a question mark for them as of right now, but they know they've dropped the bomb. They know that it's on Energy to actually get the bomb down as well, so they can just sit still and wait for any sort of response and move from Energy.
Breezy's just going to wait for Fugly to make a play, see if he can catch a lurk kill, see if he can take some map control or backstab North, and that may be possible. Good timing on the peak from Fugly. He does find Mertz alone in the squeaky room. So, 30 seconds left. NRG need to start making plays here. The bomb is dropped, but the CTs don't have control of it. We could actually see them go back up the vents towards A. They can't afford to walk to B here. That would be a massive danger because MSL is still lurking there. Does find the kill, and with support from Valdi on ramp and Kiebi already wrapping the back stairs, Fugly's out of options. He's out of time. He's stuck in a 1v3, and MSL or Valdi instead is going to take that kill.
Very well played around by MSL there. Getting the initial kill to start things off, again, taking focus away from the vents so AZ can pop out and get a second frag as well. But the fact that MSL is just completely content with getting that first kill instead of just opting to go for more, opens the door, bails out, just basically becomes like this constant nuisance that Energy can't really do anything about on this site. They can't commit to the bomb site because they haven't cleared out MSL. They know that rotations can come in so quickly, and that just staggers everything. So really well done by him.
I'm just surprised he didn't go back up the vents towards A because, we already saw the fact that A was clear because Mertz had pushed into lobby and he was taken down. So like, I feel like that's a big surprise.
Yeah, either seeing that as an option or having Breezy wait for Fugly to potentially walk around from Toxic, try to clear out the backside because again, he'd already seen the MSL drop the smoke on the Molotov that Breezy threw. So at that point, you know roughly at least where MSL is pulled up. So definitely should have seen some more thought being put into it by Energy from that point.
And a lost round for NRG, but they rebuy up with the AWP as well. So looking for this hard reset to North's economy. They didn't take many kills in the previous, so North's money isn't too terrible right now. And they've already found the pick on the CT side as well, which makes things far more difficult. Kiebi locked in the back of Garage. Main split again coming in, but AZ's got it on lock, does find his kill, and no one else there from NRG to trade. They did flash their way in, but it was only one man, and he had to make the hero play. And as a result, now we've got a 2-man disadvantage. Things start to crumble for NRG, and they've got to speed up the pace once again. 40 seconds on the clock. MSL alone on ramp. He just hit as they rounded the corner, and they're going to walk into him. Good spot from Breezy. And NRG can hit the B site.
Yeah. Unfortunately for MSL, he had the angle edge there as well for the longest of times, then decides to get a little bit more passive. Ooh. Still, though, it's going to be tough for Energy to actually get onto the bomb site here, especially with Valda coming out of vents, dropping Breeze. Well, taking down Daps as well, and that's the bomb. Cirque all alone. He's got an op. He's going to be able to connect on the first shot, but too many North players here? Maybe.
I mean, there's
maybe
only
not.
10 seconds left. That's a real issue here. He's going to have to hold on to the gun. That's an awkward round for NRG. Like, now they don't have money, right? They've just lost 2 in a row. They obviously took a couple of casualties against the full USP round as well. All of these factors taken into account, the money is gone, and North are in. At least Cirque did damage to the economy, right? So North only keep 2 players alive as Cirque finds a couple on the exit. Going to force the rebuys from the CT side.
Yeah, no, I guess keeping North honest in that sense. But yeah, they're running pretty low on their own. 3ZZs, Galil, and obviously the op that was saved on Cirque.
Do you like the buy?
I mean, it's actually not too bad. Like, they have smoke, they have Molotovs, they can do something quickly towards inner. The only issue is that the one weapon you saved is an op, so maybe you want to go towards Yard and see what Cirque can do. And Bald's on a USP only. He's expecting the save here.
Oh, that's awkward because NRG, they brought up fully. We've got Kiebi hiding outside around the edge of the smoke, and he catches 2, but he can't get the kills. Only 1 coming through. Does drop the AWP player, though, so Cirque out of the server, and Ethan picks it up, but he's low, so probably should see that gun traded back over. Mertz does try and lock down the B site here, and his headshot timing could be perfect because they may think it's clear. Oh, Breezy. He has an idea.
He knows.
I mean, he's already been killed from this spot before, or someone has from NRG, so Mertz forcing the peek as the Molotov traps him in. I love that. That's really clever from Daps. It makes Mertz commit to the duel, and he will go down. AZ going to have to try and pick up the pieces of the round, but he can only get 1 done, and Daps still doing damage down on the B site. NRG just going to try and tuck tail and run the hell out of there, get back up towards A, where MSL sits and waits.
Oof, bit of a whiff from MSL. Is able to do damage. You can tell very low HP on the 3 remaining players here. Obviously, Valda can't necessarily be too sure of that being the case. But if he decides to go for this retake, it's very doable. Even if there is a fair bit of utility left on the energy side, just don't have the HP to really get into a duel.
And this Molotov as well would make such a difference if he threw it in towards Hut, because look at the positions there. The second NRG spot him, they instantly throw out all their utility. They know where he is. There's no need to commit to any kind of engagement, and yeah, force the save. That's a really good round from NRG, and definitely unfortunate that Valdi went into that round with only a USP.
Yeah,
expecting a little less than what he got.
That is a bit weird. Could have gone for, and if if you can't afford an SMG or nobody can drop, get a ZZ at least.
P250, right?
Yeah, something to actually just increase your firepower. It's not exactly like it's not an eco anyway. It's not a massive investment, so there's no real loss for him to actually do so. But in any case, they're gonna get punished for it. And I think it's mainly down to Mertz picking a pretty awkward position to play in. We saw MSL. He actually gave himself the opportunity to have a bit of a escape route if he were to get cornered. And like even if that Molotov comes in from Daps in a similar situation versus the position that MSL used, MSL can always just bail out the door.
Yeah.
No problems. Mertz being so far forward and not being able to connect the shot immediately, he's just stuck in the middle of nowhere.
That being said, it is a better angle to play in terms of only your head is visible, right? So it's easier to stay alive, assuming they don't throw the Molotov. But good utility usage from NRG and good pick from Cirque. Already opened up towards a yard after Mertz does find that. Valdi's position would have been so perfect, but Ethan is 1 step above, quite literally, on top of main, firing down. The firing squad takes control of the yard, and North now looking for anything they can. AZ again spotted back in main, and there's the peek from Kiebi. That may save this round from North, or at least give them a very good chance, because the AWP is dropped in the open, but he overfaces, and Ethan trades right back. In the meantime, though, it's still MSL doing damage, and he gets a gun on the back line.
Yeah, does the 19 HP, though, that is a bit of an issue. But for now, it's taking quite some time for Energy to gather the bomb and whatnot. Ethan has gone off to bit of an adventure on his own. Pretty split up from Breezy here, but that might actually be the key as well. Breezy just needs to play this patiently. Ooh. Oh, and it gets a little bit too overeager. There's no real reason for him to push in before he actually gets confirmation from Ethan as to what's going on.
Oh, no. He just took so much full damage as well. That adds another further problem here, considering the time is down to 30 seconds and MSL is on the flank. I don't think there's really much of an option for the last player. But the shot, ooh, almost whiff.
Likes to keep it exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, North bring it right back, and off of not necessarily the greatest of plays from NRG again. Like we talked about Breeze just being a kind of player who usually makes the right decisions in most situations. He's had two kind of iffy ones in these 2v2s, well, not necessarily 2v2s only, but in these clutch situations for NRG. The first one being the one obviously down towards the lower bomb site, where he didn't necessarily wait for Fugly to get into position, and this time not giving his teammate enough time to actually be a factor. And North are, if North are playing right, they're going to take they're going to take advantage of that any day of the week.
Yeah, it's not like North aren't comfortable on this map, right? This is their map, so they are heavy favorites for nuke right now.
This is home ground for Danish teams. Like, I would almost just by default, as long as I see a Danish flag, I would just be vetoing nuke. That's how my experience with this map is, and Danes.
I've talked about this before. I really do like how North have kind of really sweated Dust too, because that just makes it so annoying for all the teams that haven't picked that up yet. Because not every team has really put enough time into it. You can see that clearly from some teams' performances. So it's nice to see the fact that North, not only do they have the most hated map in the map pool, that being Nuke, but also they have the newest map in the map pool, that being Dust. So it's so awkward for best of 3 vetoes.
But that's just a super smart decision to make. And I guess they have had the luxury of playing so poorly that they're not going to tournaments, so they have extended practice time, right? But they're making the best out of a bad situation for them, and that's really nice to see.
Well, Valdi.
Cheeky flat, no, cheeky smoke.
I like that. Good angle.
It's going to be a bit of a one-way, perhaps.
I mean, they're only on Glocks as well. They're going to have to overwhelm him with numbers, and I don't think that's looking good. He does flash his way in. Breezy dead, looking for a second one. Cirque spamming with a Glock, and he does go down as well. Valdi has done his job, but he's going to get chased for a little bit more. Fugly as well. I mean, one by one, he's just picking them apart. NRG shuffling in like the cha-cha slide, and it is not going to work out. It's dancing for North as they find their 5th round. With all 5 players alive, take that back. Ace is going to go down.
Yeah. Anything to complete the caster curse.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, not really too big of a deal for North, considering how they were able to bring it right back after losing to the Force Buy of Energy. They've built up a pretty solid economy off of that, able to hold on to a few weapons from that point, and obviously that just kind of builds as you win more rounds.
Well, we do have the AWP in for Mertz, and not quite the same luxury on Cirque.
They do have quite a bit of utility, though, on this side of Energy. We haven't really seen much, I guess, much interest in going towards Yard, and we also see the Molotov deployed to mess up the wall of smoke out in Yard. We see more and more teams doing this, and it's such a great way to actually mess with someone's default, especially considering how many teams use this wall of smoke as their basic setup for pretty much every buy round.
Yeah, look, the plan is just send Daps alone down towards B, and everyone else from NRG is splitting ramp. But Daps, he can't make it down. The smoke's in the way, or the smoke's already faded, and Mertz is in the way. He's going to lock it down. Now he's expecting the ramp split as well, and he does at least spot it for the information. Valdi, who's dropped down towards B, is a great position for a couple of kills, but he peeks out early. Fires off too soon, and Ethan's going to take him down. Breezy to follow up. The firepower kicking in for NRG on this B site. And even though North still have 3 players up, NRG are so low. Everyone's tagged up on this site. Bomb is down, retake is on, but North have the utility to do it, and I'm sure they're prepared. The door is open, the flash is through. Ethan's not blinded, and he has a crossfire with Breezy as well, despite being hidden around the corner. I like the angle from Ethan, but he's going to get blindsided by MSL, who looks back for more, and a third from MSL. Sick retake. And that's going to be North back in with their 6th.
MSL really getting into this game. He's been having tons of impact frags so far, sitting at 12 kills. I'm pretty sure he's leading the way as well for North.
It's the IGL story today. Daps is top for NRG as well.
Yeah, I also think like a map like Nuke, again, you can kind of see the differences because there's not necessarily as much micromanaging for an in-game leader on the CT side of Nuke. Again, it comes down to communication and like how well practiced your rotations are and knowing kind of what to do in these kind of situations. And that's something you do during practice. That's not something that he has to do or can do anything about really as the game goes live in that big of a manner. So he can be more focused on what he needs to do as an individual, and you can kind of tell that comes into play in a big way too. I think people very easily forget the fact that in-game leaders, like, sure, oftentimes they get the I guess, rough end of the stick in the sense that they don't have the best stats in terms of frags a lot of the time because it takes so much away from them having to be an in-game leader. But once they have certain maps that don't require as much intense focus and micromanaging, then you can see like they're actually solid individual players as well.
Well, MSL definitely proving that recently, right? He's been not a star player at all, but he's been far better individually as of late.
He's been a very capable player.
Yeah, exactly. He's been holding his own. It's no longer like I don't want to say joke. I don't want to ever imply he was a joke, but like he was never. You would never expect him to go off, and now you consistently see him doing it.
Yeah, and I guess I guess it sounds mean to call him a bit of an anchor, but again, when you're so much of your focus is taken away from just clicking heads, right? Like it does obviously put you at a very disadvantageous. Yeah, exactly, disadvantageous situation when you go up against other players who are extremely skilled and only have one goal in mind.
And yeah, it's nice to see him back in form, and North as well. But NRG, they took a pause. They got rifles. Fugly's 1 HP, so watch out for that wind.
Merge tagging him up early on. Kirby. This kind of position it's been a mainstay of nuke for God knows how long. You can go back to like 2003 and still see people play this spot. It's just such a hassle to deal with because you need to commit so deep as a team in order to actually deal with it. But NRG are going to find a way to do it. Kirby peeks out, gives the opportunity away, and Breezy, well, he's just going to take full advantage. A lot of damage being done to NRG, but no kills in the way of North.
Yeah, very wide angle take on Mertz in that peak. Luckily, Valdi can start to pull this job back, but again, they've got control of Heaven. They wrap their way up, and Ethan's dropped Valdi from outside of the yard. North are going to be pressured here on this A-bomb site, and even though MSL's in the corner, we need him to step up once again. There's one, the double down from MSL, the bomb's dropped, and Dax is dead too. It's MSL with impact frag after impact frag. 7 rounds for North, and that's all him.
Yeah, that's really well done by MSL being able to actually, well, first off, be calm enough to wait to both NRG players have kind of committed to the play to walk out of Heaven. That gives him a pretty easy angle to work with as well. And now you can see the benefit of actually having all that damage done. Sure, they don't end up getting any kills initially, so that 5v3 man advantage looks pretty significant for NRG, but the first kill for MSL is almost immediate because he only needs 1 bullet. Same thing for the third player as well. So it really pays off in the long run. And, well, North, they're going to get aggressive here. It's Valde on a bit of an adventure into a radio room.
And NRG looking to split outside once again, it seems. But there is a man close with the M4. He's going to get overwhelmed. That's not a big surprise.
Flying ZZ.
Yeah, that's balanced, of course. Cirque. Okay, following up. Cirque's got a rifle. Watch out, boys. MSL's going to try and watch the vents, but he doesn't want to drop down into the claws. So he just holds on to the top of A. Can wrap the secret, but doesn't know if there's anyone still outside, late lurking. Valdi's already got the B locked down as well, so it's not like North are in a position where they need to force a rotate. And considering their players up in Squeaky as well, NRG certainly could commit towards the A site if they don't want to drop down through those vents.
That's definitely true, but yeah, the big point here is North have gotten good enough positioning to the point where they don't necessarily need to make massive rotations as of right now. Each and every player at each and every spot of the map can do significant damage.
There it is again from MSL. What is he doing? 2 kills. That's a fantastic work on this A site, and it is just Daps who can't fire off the shots fast enough. Mertz, he got a frag and ran away, and now Daps has got to find the clutch, the IGL of the T side. With 30 seconds on the clock, an M4 in his hand. And North surrounding him. They've got the lockdown on Bent, but Daps is going to drop in with a big frag. He knows Mertz was last spotted up in Heaven as well, so he can surely get this plant in before the rotate comes, but just to ensure the safety, he gets that smoke down, only to fake it. Big play, and he's not going to get spotted crossing through the vents, because of course it's been changed. Mertz, he should hear this plant come through, but will he realize?
Right. Well, definitely realizes now, but he doesn't want to give away his positioning. Oh well, there he goes.
Swapped out to the AK, or the M4, sorry, and just bursts up with the help of a smoke. Now Daps has got to be careful around the edge of it, but instead he's just playing it very passive, not pushing through, not getting aggressive. Mertz is repositioning, and Daps, he's going to know exactly what's going on right now. There's no window to jump through. He knows Mertz has to go in through this door. And he's already on the site making noise as well. Mertz has been completely fooled by Daps. Checks it back, but Daps misses the shot, and Mertz is going to just find that clutch with a nick of time.
That was looking so good for Davs. Really nice repositioning. Initially, probably commits a little bit too heavy to that peak, especially with the bombs being being basically, you know, brought down so low at that point. Probably could have gone for just a random shoulder peek where he shoots towards the one the second he hears the tap and then leaves it at that. Doesn't really need to see if he's actually holding it or not. Give him a second chance to actually peek back.
And considering the fact that Daps used a CZ there as well is a bit weird, right? Of course, he was hoping for the close engagement, in which case that gun would have been perfect. But the range was kind of like medium range, right? Mertz wasn't.
I'd still pick a CZ.
Really?
In that situation. Yeah, it's just a broken gun. It's the dumbest gun ever made, ever introduced to Counter-Strike.
Excuse me, R8.
No, it's still dumber.
R8 on first day patch.
Because R8 would just be banned from tournaments.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen it for a little bit, you know.
God, no.
Major with the R8, that would have been fun. That would have really proved the point of our
Snacks and Alu, you know, they're giving you the taste that you need.
Yeah. Nifty, oh no, he didn't play with it. No, I'm thinking of the, no, don't worry.
In any case, Mertz is using the AWP, and he's doing so with great success. And as I said, he's going to get taken out by Ethan, but the trade is in rather quickly. So once again, man advantage for North here. And NRG haven't really been able to take advantage of the situations where they've had a man up or not, so this is definitely not going to get easier. They do have a lot more HP, though, but constantly dropping players. And MSL continuing his good form will get taken up by Fugly, but as I say that, Fugly finds AZ as well.
And this is where Nuke now gets similar to Train in the sense that these clutches are so based on timing and repositioning, right? He can just sneak around anywhere of the map. Because it's a 2v1, North can only cover a couple of positions, so he has the option to wrap outside, he can go down vents, he can hit, you know, ramp, for example. And he will go for that yard play, but there's 30 seconds left, so he can't sneak for too much longer. The only positive here is he may catch Valde out of position as he sits inside of the A site. And Fugly sneaking his way on in. I mean, both players are here. This should surely be North's round.
Yeah, no, Kirby's got main covered, I would imagine. It's going to be Valde instead. Yeah, Valde actually steps out from his corner. But yeah, North playing that well. In those kind of situations, on a map like, as you mentioned, Train or Nuke for that matter, it's kind of tough to decide whether or not you want to split up as a team with a man advantage on the CT side. If you want to actually just cover one bomb site each and see if you can spot the guy out as he's coming into a bomb site, or if you want to play together and go for a retake. Because the issue with going with a retake is that there's so many angles that you need to actually clear out when moving into a bomb site on these maps that even if you're two, it's not necessarily the hardest task in the world for a T to actually being able to isolate one of these players and get two 1v1s instead of the 1v2.
Luckily enough, though, this is a map where there are a lot of positions you can kind of hide in, annoying corners and cubbies and doors to stop bomb plants. So splitting does work fairly well on this map. As I say, it's far harder on that Train, for example, but Kirby tagged up in main, alone. He's kind of cornered here, and Ethan going to try and flash him out of position. Valde could wide face as soon as that flash comes in, so he may be able to support his teammate. He's too little, too late. Ethan's found that first frag, and now NRG going to quick hit this A bomb site. Mertz, he's repositioned in the door, and he's found the shot as well. Looking to try and catch another man, but he gets shot from the back of the head. Fugly still in the lobby, and still trying to come in to this A bomb site, where North, yeah, they have control, but not for search. He's going to get caught up in heaven. Fugly with the wallbang, and AZ fires off back. Nice work from AZ. And North, they're going to pick it up. 10 rounds to 4. This is a really good CT half so far.
This seemed like such a desperate attempt from Fugly, though. Like, why would you commit to actually going for the wall bang?
Yeah.
Your buddy in main already has him locked down. He can't move from that position at all, and he can't actually help MSL on the site because there's no window anymore.
You feel like we want to split Squeaky and main and go like pincer him, right? Because they have lobby
if
control.
not that, then Fugly can actually commit out of hut towards the bomb site. Like Fugly can, or the guy coming in from main can actually negate the guy playing from vents completely, and then double up on MSL on site with Fugly coming out of hut.
Round there, and Kirby again caught out of position. This seems to be a constant factor happening. Mertz, luckily, is going to try and draw it back, and AZ locks down main with 2. It's almost like it's an eco for NRG. They are getting torn apart here by AZ. 4 kills in the rifle round to finish off the half, and 11-4 for North. That's pretty dominant.
That is pretty dominant, and especially because outside of the few rounds that NRG got, didn't really feel like they had too much of a shot at getting rounds. Obviously, you had the 1v1 with Mertz and Dabs. That's probably the closest they got outside of the rounds they got. Otherwise, even if they were in a situation where they had a 5v3, that kind of stuff, North were just positioned well enough to actually deal with it at any given time, and a well-deserved first half, I guess, in that sense. North played well.
I mean, like, let's look at that realistically. Maybe 4 rounds, you may think, oh, okay, that's all right, it's T-side nuke after all. That was pistol and 2 anti-ecos. 3 of the rounds were not for free, of course, but
one
rifle round, and they got reset straight away, of course. So Yeah, it's like you can't look into that too deep if you're NRG. You can't go, oh yeah, it's a good half, guys, because it's not enough. You need more than that, and they're going to need the pistol hit.
Yeah, I guess on depending on who you play against, this might be enough. But
yeah, right.
North are a team that's not going to falter. They're going to have a plan A, B, C, D, and E.
They are going for the main split themselves, it seems. Kirby wraps outside and does manage to start things off. He had a bit of a shaky first half, but he is trying to pull himself back as Mertz does the exact same. Double with a Glock, and everyone winning their duels here. NRG just can't catch a break. It's Breezy alone, and they're on the B site before you know it. North pretty much guaranteed this 12th round, and AZ will make it so.
Very solid pistol. Again, that's more down to the fact that North are able to overpower just in terms of numbers. The energy defense there. Quick to actually push out, deciding not to go down secret. Wants to push under heaven, and obviously a double kill from Merch under there just kind of seals everything for them. Even at that point on, you pretty much have every venue on the map available to you, and there's not really a whole lot energy can do it except for hoping that somebody comes up with a miracle from an individual point of view.
Now the force coming through, Cirque saving for the orb, but they're not going to have many attempts to really pull that one out. We've got a fast break of the squeaky door, North setting up outside of the A site. One man outside, that's MSL. And just holding at least for the time being, seeing if NRG want to face. Mertz would surely win this duel up against a pistol, but that being said, CZs are, well...
Fickle beast.
Yeah.
MSL's made his way all the way around. Might get spotted out by Zerk here as he moves in towards main, but nice flash.
Like
it's so well set up. Spots out Breeze as well. Doesn't get the kill, but the information is gathered. It's going to result in a quick and easy return frag from Valda, and bomb side is pretty much theirs. Ethan tries to make things a little bit more hairy. Takes out Kirby, but okay, so they just completely ignored actually covering easy.
I like this, so just drop down B, completely ignore this problem. You know NRG have rotated to set up for the A retake, so why don't you just throw a spanner in the works and completely change the site? They do at least get the bomb down here, but they're at a man disadvantage. You need to kill forced from the T side, and Mertz in a very awkward angle. We saw him struggle to defend this spot on the CT side, but this time they don't have a Molotov, and he has an AK. There's the head spotted. Contact made from Mertz, and there's a second player of his teammate to try and catch the cross as well. Mertz can fall back because he knows Ethan is going to be attracted to Valde's position, but Ethan's just trying to bait out Mertz, who's already repositioned back up into the radio room and done more damage with Cirque dead. Mertz is looking for the 3K clutch here, and Ethan is so low as well. Bomb timer already ticking, no kit to play with. Everything is going against NRG here, and Mertz is going to be able to clean it up with 3.
Oh, well done by Mertz. And you can see a different decision taken this time. Decided to follow in MSL's footsteps, immediately leads to a kill, and he's able to get out of the dodge from a potential trade.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
It was such a shame as well seeing Ethan go down secret, right? Because you could see he was trying to bait out Mertz on the stairs by kind of half peeking, I think it was Valde, on the decontamination door. And Mertz is already repositioned. And because the call is being made from Ethan, the other player comes down ramp and Mertz just kills him because he's not expecting it.
Easy peasy. There we go. And it's going to be clean eco for Energy. They don't have too much to hold anything back with as the inner push comes in. First inner push of the game, really, like in terms of quick inner pushes. Obviously, being up against an eco, not too much to fear for North. Bombs down, and well, Merch does tempt fate by running into the constant bullets and rain that goes through main.
You couldn't hear them, they were silent.
Oh. MSL's going to be able to add to his bank account a little bit with at least 2 frags. Survives for quite some time for Fugly as well. And does put some decent damage onto him. 4 HP. Kirby's going to get the easy freebie. Well, North had 14 rounds, and we're going to have the potentially only buy round from Energy on this CT side. That's not a good feeling to sit with after playing Nuke.
Not at all. I think we should have the orb though for Cirque. Yeah, it does come through. Armorless against him, and we've been talking a little bit about this AWP battle, but we've just not really seen it enough as Cirque. I feel like we've already had it 2 or 3 times this entire map.
Yeah, and again, that's the nature of playing T-side on Nuke. It's not necessarily the easiest weapon to move around with, and being mobile is so key on a map like this. And Mertz, I like this from him. The aggressive attempt to peek into main, so many players just completely ignore that. And MSL apparently has become an entry fragger, out-dueling Ethan.
I mean, when it comes down to stats, MSL is the player on North that actually is involved in the opening kill or death more times than anyone else.
Oh, 100%, because he has the same approach as Kerrigan.
Yeah.
He's going to throw his body at someone because his teammates can get 1 to 2 trades off of it. And he'll take that any day. He's very selfless in that sense, which is, I think it's something like you need players like that on a team who's able to just bite the bullet. It's like, well, this is a really awkward situation to be in. Like it's so hard to take over this area of the map, but it's so crucial. So we might have to, expend someone.
Yeah.
And he's willing to take that any day of the week.
And when he's already hitting shots, it's going pretty well. He's on 25,
oh yeah, he just adds to the bonus.
kills.
Like, in additional, they've kind of like planned for the fact that if I go down, you guys can do this. But when he's actually firing off shots and playing well, then you just have
it's great.
You have the same plan. You just don't need to think about the fact that you're one man down potentially, or just have lost a player.
Yeah. I mean, Valdi, he has a high success rate in terms of, I think he has like 55% win rate in his opening duels, but he attempts it far less than that of MSL. So, again, looking for more opening kills, with Breezy down on the A bomb site with only one. Kiebi with a quick trade. They don't line up for Dabs. He lines up them, though. 2 kills. Kiebi does catch another rotate, and somehow even the heroics put up by the AGL or the CT side is not enough. It's just Cirque and a 1v2. We've wanted him on this AWP for a while, and we're going to see what he has to play with. Kiebi's up in the rafters. He's just not going to expect it. North, 15 rounds here. They may take casualties, but with an 11-round deficit for NRG, I don't think North care.
I don't think we're going to see the same story as yesterday.
No.
That seems very unlikely. North just playing really well as of right now. Again, most of their players firing up, like actually having impact on in most instances. As you can see, the MSL 25 and 10, but AZ sitting at 17. Bald has been playing a good game at 14, and Mertz as well. I mean, I guess the only silent player really on their side so far has been Kirby, but that's more down to the fact that other players are getting the job done before he necessarily gets into the thick of things.
Yeah, Kirby's really good at like late round frags, I feel. He's less of like that opening player, and North have just been winning all these opening duels anyway, so it's not like it matters.
It's like, oh, everybody's dead. Sorry, Kirby.
You can kill them on ecos if you want. Here. Yeah. Oh, dear. It's almost like it is an eco. NRG, only 2 pistols and 3 shotguns. Not the best buy to play with. And they have at least done some damage in terms of trading equally, but again, they're pretty unequipped for this one.
And you can see the issue now with 2 alligators in a mag 7. With North going towards ramp, they're going to get the furthest distance possible for an after-plant position as well. Probably going to have use one of these smokes on Kirby to actually smoke off. One's going to go to window, one going to go to doors. They're going to get an easy bomb plant, and there's not really anything they can do. Like, how do you actually remove the guy on ramp now?
Look at the range in which they have to play from this retake. Yes, they have an open breezy, but like these shotguns are going to be useless.
Yeah, that's the
how do you kill Valde here?
Yeah, well, Valde or AZ who's playing from ramp. Like you're not going to remove him unless Breezy hits a big shot. And that's the only hope you have.
Oh, but there he goes. He does at least start it off. Smoke on the bomb. They should jump right on it. They should at least commit to the defuse because again, they don't have the range to play with. Peek out from Kiebi. He needs his clutch. He's had a slow game, but this is his chance to finish off in style. They're sticking the bomb and he can't find him. They're on it and Breezy's dead. Kiebi does it. Oh no, they won. They won the round. They defused it. Yeah. You'd already stood up. You were ready. You were leaving the room. You were done.
But okay. We're starting to make things up now. I like it.
NRG, they got the defuse. How the hell did that happen?
So the big thing for me is that Kirby can actually hear the guy tapping the defuse. He knows Fugly's already killed one, so he knows Fugly's not on bomb. He saw the guy with the AWP go into the smoke. Fugly did not kill someone with an AWP. Ergo somebody else is on the defuse. Obviously, again, probably tough to make those kind of split decisions, but I'm kind of surprised by the fact that he didn't attempt actively to get the diffuser first and just kind of ignore the second player from NRG at that point.
Yeah, I mean, smoke was down, so it does make it hard, but yeah, bit of an awkward one. A nice attempt nonetheless.
Yeah, no, I mean, he gets all 3 kills, so that does mean it's going to be a horrible buy from NRG, as you can tell. It's 1 Colt, ZZ, 2 FAMASas, and 1 Alligator. I'd honestly probably have, more shotgun. I probably like the previous buy better in that sense.
Yeah, right. You got more CCs.
Yeah, more CCs and more shotguns. So obviously the shotguns are impeccable for playing that inner bomb site. It's only a bit of an issue once you get to longer range like that inner bomb site. So, but you can kind of work around that.
Oh, and the cell again trying to open up here towards the yard. Unsuccessful, but Dap certainly will. It's the CZ down on B that needs to step up for Ethan, but he doesn't expect the angle. He was pre-aiming far too deep. MSL's going to pass his crosshair and find a double opener once again. I feel like I'm just repeating myself at this point. Valde does follow up onto B with a trade-off. Kiebi's dead, and there's a second frag as well. It's all on Breezy in the clutch. He does find the first. But again, this one is even more favorable for North than the previous round. About is just going to force the kill. No way Breezy expects that. That's North taking the victory here on their map choice, 16-5. A pretty dominant affair, all things considered.
Yeah, and I feel like this is how Nuke was always going to play out. NRG, yeah, sure, they know how to play it. You can see that on their T side, they do have ideas. You know, they had the A main split, similar to Astralis, but it's just a case of North being better on the map. And I think if just from the get-go, if you're technically better on than another team on a map like Nuke, that's going to obviously be a big difference maker. But when you add into the fact that North are actually playing well as individuals, especially MSL was by far the MVP of this game, then it just becomes a monumentous task. I think most teams would have troubles playing a North like this on Nuke.
Yeah, and I feel like, again, for NRG, not that they necessarily didn't look as great individually. Of course they didn't. It was 16-5. But, like, when, you know, Daps, again, top fragging, we don't have that ult for Cirque really coming out. We don't have anyone else really stepping up to counter that of MSL. And not to, like, put anything bad on Daps. Like, he played well, but I feel like he shouldn't be your guy at the top of the board.
Yeah, no, that's going to have to be on guys like Ethan, Breezy, and Cirque. Like, that's what they're there for in many ways. And I think for the better part, we had, you know, non-factor games from all of them, more or less. But then again, it's kind of hard to get into the thick of things when you're just kind of getting pummeled over and over.
Yeah.
So overall, in that sense, for the NRG guys, but I think it's going to be a very different story going into Orbit Pass. As long as they don't let this map affect them too much, like they go into it knowing they're heavy underdogs, so you don't actually put too much stock into the fact that you just kind of got smashed out of the server on Nuke. That was always meant to happen in a similar fashion as to. Well, not in a similar fashion, but let's say, you know, if you take the Vici SK game, right? The fact that 16-1 happens, SK are not going to let that affect them. That happened. Can't do anything about it. Just leave it as is, and you know, go on about your best of 3 as you would normally, and that's really what NRG have to do from now on.
Well, let's see if that can happen. Overpass will be that second map, so maybe a chance for retribution. Do